Why, hello there, Rip City. Welcome in to the fifth quarter. I had to pause for a quick second. I had to enjoy the moment that was Wayne Static and Static X there, black and white. Nice pull, Michael Shacker. Blazers, they went on and battled in Houston tonight. First game of a 7-game road trip. They fell to the Rockets 110-92. I am Chris Burkhardt here now with the fifth quarter to break it all down. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. And of course, you can jump on youtube.com and head over to Rip City Radio there, where you can watch the fifth quarter live and join the conversation there as well. So you got a multitude of avenues to enjoy the show if you see fit. Now, this game right here, it's another one of those games where you take it with like a grain of salt, if you will, because it's hard to read into it too much. But the Blazers did for the second game in a row go out there and start five rookies. Toumani Camara, Kris Murray, Duop Reath, Scoot Henderson, and Rayan Rupert got the start tonight. Anthony Simons, DeAndre Ayton, they were both out. Shaedon Sharpe still out. Matisse Thybulle was a late scratch as well. And then off the bench, bunch of young guys as well. Justin Minaya, Jabari Walker, Moses Brown, Ashton Hagens, Delano Banton. Those are your 10 Blazers who saw action in this one. And you got to remember, Houston came into this game winners of 8 in a row. One of the best teams over the last few weeks in the NBA. The hottest team not named the Boston Celtics. And guess what? The Boston Celtics lost a game tonight to end their 9-game win streak. And now the Houston Rockets have a 9-game win streak. They sit alone as the hottest team in the NBA. And things are getting tight and things are getting entertaining, if you will, because now the Rockets just a half game back of the Golden State Warriors for the 10th spot and a chance at the play in there. So the Rockets, man, they are playing good ball. And tonight, the Blazers stuck with them for 2.5 quarters. They truly did. The Blazers had a 51-47 lead at halftime. Things were looking good. They came out in the third quarter, kind of the same thing. They were doing what they needed to do. They were up. They were up big. Like they were up, 64-55. Things are looking good. And then the Rockets went on a 25-7 run to end the quarter, took the lead, never looked back. Final score in this one, 110-92. Taking a look at the box score, Toumani Camara had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, 4 of 9 shooting. Would have liked to maybe see him a little more active offensively, but you will take 4 of 9 shooting for him. Scoot Henderson, 15 points to lead the way for the starters. He was 3 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep, which you absolutely love to see that for him. Just, excuse me, I read the wrong one. 1 of 5 from deep. You don't like to see that. I was like, that doesn't sound right. I didn't see him hit those. He was 1 of 5 from deep. Did have 4 assists. It was Rayan Rupert who was 3 of 4, which you love to see. And Rupert, man, he is coming into his own right now. He's playing some good ball, all things considered. This is a guy, again, you knew he was going to spend a lot of time down with the Rip City remix. Injuries have forced the hand, and now here he is getting a couple starts, and he's slowly starting to mature into that role. Not a long-term starter right now, but he's definitely maturing there. You can put him in there at this moment and feel confident. I mean, you're running 5 rookies, right? So go have fun with it. Duop Reath had just 8 points. Kris Murray had 4 on 2 of 11 shooting. Off the bench, Jabari Walker had 7 points and 5 rebounds. Ashton Hagens had 8 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds. The star of this one, and he has been the star of many a game as of late, was Delano Banton. 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. It was his first career double-double. Also, 5th career game with 20 points and his 4th as a Trailblazer. So he continues to be impressive. How he fits into a lineup that's fully healthy, I don't think anybody knows the answer to that. But if you want to talk about a guy who's probably earning himself an actual full-on roster spot and a chance to make the rotation next season and beyond, yeah, Delano Banton's fitting that bill. 11-21 on the night, 2 of 9 from deep. And yeah, 10 of his 11 rebounds on the defensive side. So good job there for Delano Banton. On the Houston side of things, yeah, that Green guy, yeah, Jalen, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He led the Rockets with 27 points. He had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 15 points from Van Vliet, Landale had 17. Dylan Brooks, Go Ducks, had 11. And Thompson chipped in 12. Every Houston Rockets starter in double figures. Aaron Holiday also had 11 off of the bench. So good performance from the Rockets to get the turnaround victory in the second quarter. And honestly, yeah, you sit there and you say, okay, 110 to 92, that's an 18-point deficit. And it is rough, but it was all in that second quarter when the script flipped. And what are you supposed to do if you're the Blazers? Let's just be completely honest here. I know we want to overanalyze and get mad at the sitch, but I mean, they started 5 rookies. 5 rookies started in this game. And then you look at the bench rotation, Justin Minaya, Jabari Walker, Moses Brown, Ashton Haggis, Delano Banton. Not a whole lot of experience there. The most tenured Blazer to play was Moses Brown. Like, that's, yeah, you're gonna take a beating on a game like that. But you do like those. You like to see that they fought. You like to see that they had a halftime lead. You like to see that guys like Rupert are rounding out into form and playing good basketball on both ends. You would have liked Chris Murray to shoot the ball a little better than 2 of 11, but hey, man, he's been shooting the ball better overall. You're going to have bad nights. That's still not the strength of his game. He's working on that, and it is what it is. And at the end of the day, you got a loss, and that helps you when it comes to the standings, right? Because that's all important. Because now with 10 games remaining, 6 on this road trip, 3-game homestand, and then the one off ending the season on the road at Sacramento. You know, you got 10 games to see where you end up in the draft lottery. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But, you know, there's ways to get in there, maybe get higher than you thought, especially since tonight. And you'll find this out in our scoreboard report coming up. But San Antonio grabbed a win over the Suns. I don't think anyone saw that one coming. And so the Blazers, they're a little bit closer to that 3 spot than you might think. How close? We'll let you know here when we talk about it. After the scoreboard report, do a little tankathon search. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number, or you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can type in your questions, comments, concerns there and join the conversation. And of course, you can go onto the X app. You can follow me at Chris J. Burkhart, and you can send all your questions, all your hate mail straight to me, and we can have a little bit of fun. We're going to take a quick break, though, and if you want to get in, dial those numbers, get in, get on YouTube. We can talk about anything. Remember last year, I think we went in and did a deep dive on Hawaiian volcanoes and, you know, what Mauna Kea, where it was located and how lava flows. You know, we could talk about anything in a season like this. Let's come have some fun. Chris Burkhart here. The 5th quarter rolls on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
40 seconds left in the first half. 2-for-1 opportunity for the Rockets. Blazers lead by 2. Green with another step back three. That one's well off the mark. Rebound Chris Murray. Murray was hitting the mouth, and the Blazers will bring it up. At an 8-second differential. Banton drives to the rim and lays it in. Count the 2 for Banton. It is 51-47, and Banton's got 15 in the first half.
It is time for What's the Scoot and what is going on with the man, Scoot Henderson. Well, like we said in tonight's 110-92 victory for the Houston Rockets over your Portland Trailblazers, Scoot Henderson, 25 minutes, 6 of 14 shooting, just 1 of 5 from deep, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, did have 5 turnovers and 5 personal fouls, 15 points in total. And again, you'd like to let him get over that 25-minute mark, but when you're in foul trouble, you're in foul trouble. That's going to change the rotations a little bit, and that's obviously what Coach Billups had to do. Now, like I was saying over the last few weeks, is like, like if Scoot gets into foul trouble, I don't care, just play him, just leave him out there no matter what. And you got to do what you got to do, but unfortunately, the foul trouble reared its ugly little head, and it hurt him, and couldn't get the minutes that he wanted. You do like the fact that 6 of 14, still not great shooting, but I feel like you're right there, just under that 50% number. You'd like to get that higher in the long run for him. I think that's kind of paramount to his success, and you would hope he does. Secondarily, I also think I don't like. Granted, the team only got there 15 times, but I don't like the 2 for 2 from the free throw line. You're too good and too talented. You should be able to attack that rim. You have a highlight package from your time with the G League Ignite that shows it. Attack that rim and get some players into foul trouble. Attack with the ferocity that we know you have. Again, I think it's just a matter of finding that dog within him again and just being a beast out there. But that's what I want to see. I want to see him go out there, attack it, and, if you end up putting the bigs in trouble because they can't guard you, that's good. That's good. You should be like, trying to get your 8, 9, 10 free throw attempts per night. And that's going to help you out in the long run. So that is What's the Scoot. And again, he's been playing better as of late. You would have just liked an overall better performance tonight. If social media is to be believed, it was terrible officiating that did him in tonight, but it's always terrible officiating that does these guys in. What else could it be? All right, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. You can also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio and join the chat there, or you can tweet at me at Chris J. Burkhardt. Is it still okay to call it a tweet? Like, can I still say you're tweeting at me, or is that frowned upon yet? I think it's okay, so it's still Twitter. But yeah, that is the haps there for Scoot Henderson. And looking at the box score tonight, it's I've said this about Delano Banton and that he's he's just Trendon Watford, right? And what I meant by that is like Trendon Watford was a good player. I like Trendon Watford, but he was stuck on a team that was tanking and had injuries and was getting a lot of run because of it. So the numbers were inflated. But what is Trendon Watford when you put him on a healthy team and put him in the rotation? What's he going to look like? And you look at Trendon Watford right now in Brooklyn, right? He's played 52 games, averaging 11 minutes, 5.6 points per game. Like, not terrible number for a guy who just gets in and gets his spot minutes every once in a while. But like I think that's what Delano Banton is on a fully healthy team. I mean, if this team has DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams healthy, right? And then Duop Reese getting his minutes. And you have Shaden Sharp and Malcolm Brogdon and Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson all playing guard, right? With Matisse Thybulle, who can slide in there. And then Tamani Kamara and Rupert, who's looked good. Chris Murray, everybody else. Jeremy Grant. So many injured players, you forget who's injured. Like, Delano Banton's he's not getting a big run. Like if you add the other 5, 6 guys who aren't playing, then he's down at the bottom of that 11, 12 maybe. But he's taking advantage of the minutes right now, which you love to see. And can he crack into that? Maybe getting 11 to 21 and playing 30 minutes a night. Maybe that's what he ends up being. But I don't know if I see it long term for for this team if they're fully healthy. I'll tell you this much: if this team's fully healthy, you got Ant, you got Shea, you got Grant, you got Ayton out there, Delano Banton's not getting 21 shots. No siree, he is not. So he's taking advantage of the opportunity right now, which is good. But in the long run, I don't know exactly where he slots in. I do think he's a good piece to have on your roster, though, because what you've shown with him right now is the ability to play the 1, 2, 3, the 4, the 5. You can play it all. So I like that. I like that a lot. Shout out to super producer Michael Shacker. You're getting yelled at by my wife. She's like, hey, you are way too handsome for Michael Shacker to not put your camera on. Why has it got to be the intro slate the whole time? Shout out to my wife for being fooled into thinking that I'm attractive. That's your bad, not mine. But also, yeah, put me on the screen. People, the public must see me sweating in this room because temperature control in this building is out of whack like crazy, and it is either cold enough to see icicles in the hallway or hot enough to melt paint off the walls. There is no in between in the iHeartMedia building. Shacker can attest to that. Chad can attest to that. Dwight, Justin, everyone will tell you there's only 2 temperatures in this building: icy cold or fire hot. No in between. No in between. I guess I could, go open a couple doors, maybe crack a window. There's nobody else in here tonight, but my goodness, temperature control. Fix it. Fix it. All right, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. You can also jump on youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio. Join the conversation there. And, of course, Twitter at Chris J. Burkhart. We'll take a quick break here on the 5th quarter. When we come back, we'll give you a scoreboard report, get you up to date on all the scores around the league. And if you have a green thumb and you're planting stuff for spring, I promise I won't run through your wicked garden. Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here, filling in for Chad Doing. You can follow me on Twitter at Chris J. Burkhardt. Let's get you up to date now on all the happenings around the NBA with a quick scoreboard report. First off, 4:16 left in the fourth quarter. Denver Nuggets have a 118-91 lead over the Memphis Grizzlies. Scottie Pippen Jr., 17 points to lead the way there. Nikola Jokic, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists for the Nuggets. In Utah, the Mavericks have a 113-103 lead with a minute 18 left in the game. Luka Doncic, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 13 assists. Lauri Markkanen, 34 points, 7 rebounds to lead the Jazz. Halftime in Sacramento, the Kings 60, the 76ers 48. Tyrese Maxey, 26 points to lead the 76ers. Keegan Murray with 19 points for the Kings. Can they switch? Like on the last game of the year, can they just go into the opposing locker room, switch jerseys just for funsies? No one's going to know, right? Do it. All right. Clippers have a 37-34 lead over the Pacers in Los Angeles with 10:53 left in the second quarter. Tyrese Halliburton has 6 points for the Pacers. Kawhi Leonard, 9 for the Clippers. Final scores in Cleveland. The Cavaliers grabbed the 115-92 victory over the Hornets. Brandon Miller had 24 points and 8 rebounds. Jarrett Allen leading the Cavs with 17 points and 13 rebounds. Atlanta 120, Boston 118. Jason Tatum 37 points, 8 rebounds. DeJounte Murray 19 points, 15 assists, and 3 steals. The story of this one, Boston blew a 30-point lead. That is right. Atlanta came storming back. DeAndre Hunter scored 24 points, including the dagger 3 with 9 seconds left. I mean, Boston outscored Atlanta 44-22 in the first quarter alone. So shout out to the Hawks for battling back. If you go see any of the highlights on ESPN or on social, man, that would have been a fun game to be out because that stadium was alive. Let me tell you what. In New York, under the dim lights of Madison Square Garden, the Knicks grab a 124-99 victory over the Detroit Pistons. Dante DiVincenzo led the way for New York with 40 points, including a Knicks record 11 three-pointers. In Toronto, the Nets grab a 96-88 victory over the Raptors. Dennis Schroeder had 19 and 7 for the Nets. Kelly Olynyk had 10 points and 9 assists for the Raptors. In Chicago, the Wizards 107, Bulls 105. Rashawn Holmes had 14 points and 15 boards for the Wizards. DeMar DeRozan 27 points, 6 assists, and 5 steals for the Bulls. And in San Antonio, the Spurs grab a 104-102 victory over the Suns. Kevin Durant 29 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Jeremy Sohan 26 points, 18 rebounds for the Spurs. And, of course, in Houston, the Rockets 110, your Portland Trailblazers 92. Delano Banton leading the way, 28 points and 11 rebounds for the Trailblazers. And an updated look now. Let's look at that old tankathon, see how things are going. We talked about it on the pregame show just a little bit, but things are starting to tighten up. So San Antonio takes the win over the Suns. So that, helps Charlotte and Portland, who both lost tonight, close a little bit of ground. So now you have San Antonio 4 games back of first place. Charlotte just a game and a half back of San Antonio. And then Portland just a game and a half back of Charlotte. And things get interesting here because, of course, the Blazers, they do have a game coming up against Charlotte on this road trip where the loser of that game definitely gets a leg up in the standings because it's going to definitely help put a gap or close the gap, depending on how you want to look at it. So that's a big one coming up. For the Spurs, things are going to be rough down the stretch, too. I believe they don't have another game against a, air quotes, bad team coming up on their schedule. We can take a look at what San Antonio does. Okay, never mind. They have a couple bad teams. I read that wrong. They still have at Utah. They have ending the season against the Pistons. So there's 2 games. Oh, and the Grizzlies. There's a couple games in there that they might be able to win, especially depending on how they go after. But this is going to be a really interesting race down for that final spot. I still think it's probably Detroit, Washington, San Antonio 1, 2, 3 with some really good intrigue there into that 4 or 5 spot. Who gets that, Portland or Charlotte? And again, don't sleep on it yet because there's still a chance for Portland to climb up and end the season there at number 3, tied with the top 2 spots at a 14% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. Real quick, for those of you who don't know those numbers, top 3 picks each have a 14% chance of getting number 1 overall. Number 4 has a 12.5% chance. Number 5, where Portland currently sits, has a 10.5% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. And don't forget that as the standings are right now, Golden State sits in 13th, which is a 1% chance. So Portland still has the possibility of getting another lottery pick. That's why, tonight wasn't terrible because, yes, you lost. So that helps you in your standings. But that win for Houston also gets them a little bit closer to Golden State. And that's going to be one to watch because, again, if they can get past Golden State and into the play, and that's going to be absolutely incredible. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the conversation where Todd says that was an awful game. Is season over yet? No, there's 10 games left. And I just laugh real quick. That was an awful game. What are your expectations, Todd? What are your expectations for only the second team since 1976 to start 5 rookies in a game and to do it on 2 consecutive nights? And odds are might have to do it again on Wednesday. 5 rookies with a couple rooks or second-year guys off the bench. Like I said, the most tenured guy to play in this game was Moses freaking Brown. Moses Brown. Look this up real quick. Let's look this up before I head out to those phone lines. If you're there, hold still. I'll get to you. But Moses Brown, my guys, 145 career games. That's not even 2 full seasons. He's on his 7th stop, 6 different teams. In his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons in the NBA. 145 games. That was your most tenured player tonight. Yeah. If you were grossly disappointed by this game, it was an awful game. Is the season over? Yeah, I think your expectations going in might just be a little too high there, Todd. However, I respect it. I mean, if you're still fanning that hard on this, then good on you. That's fanatic through and through. As Chris said, at least we're getting a glimpse of the youngsters' talent or lack thereof. You're getting a good evaluation, right? That's what Chris said, evaluation period. And that's true. I think what you're at right now is you're seeing who's here and who's not, because there's moves to be made. And we've been hearing rumblings of what's trying to happen this summer, and this team wants to be competitive, and I believe that. And we'll see what happens, especially if we will go into this thing, this draft night with 2 lottery picks and a couple bodies like Malcolm Brogdon who could be moved. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not going to, get out over our skis and start counting chickens before they're hatched. But I will say this one. I'm over here trying to enjoy the moment and see if there was a couple things I liked in this one. And yeah, the game wasn't great, but yeah, 5 rookies, Moses Brown, your most tenured player playing. Things are going to get rough, Todd. You can bet your mortgage on that one. All right, but if you do need to make a bet, call Shohei Ohtani's interpreter first. All right, let's head out to the phone lines where David in Salem has been waiting patiently. David, you're on the 5th quarter.
It's good to talk to you again, Chris. I'm glad all the rookies were playing. The only thing I was disappointed about was Scoot Henderson and him not, I know he had foul trouble, five fouls, 5 turnovers, but his assists, only 4 assists. And, the starting players, 5 rookies, had less assists than Delano Banton and Ashton Higgins. And I look at that and I'm thinking that's what concerns me. You draft a guy 3. I wanted to see him pass that ball and make the other players better. And I think he's capable of it, but he just didn't do it tonight. And part of that was him not playing the same number of minutes that he probably would have normally played if he hadn't been in foul trouble. But still, that's really important. If he's going to be the starting point guard for the Blazers of the future, I would love to see him get anywhere from 8 to 10 assists per night. And he just isn't doing it. And I'm not sure why that is. Do you have an assessment of that?
I'll tell you this much, David. There's the assessment one is the fact, who's in the starting lineup with him tonight, right? Tamani Kamara, known shooter? No. Chris Murray, known shooter? No. Ryan Rupert, known shooter? No. So assists will be hard to come by. However, I would like to see him get to the 8 assist number in the long term. As of right now, not concerned in the least. I mean, he is averaging 4.8 assists on the season, which is number 1 amongst rookies. So rookies, again, every single level, no matter how big they are, what position they're playing, they take time to acclimate to the new game. And the fact that he's leading in that category, that's exactly what you want from your rookie point guard, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe my expectations are too high. You know, I look at any player that's taken that high, and I would expect them to do better. It just do. You know, these guys are making millions of dollars, and you know, maybe we're just taking them too early. You know, I mean, you know, and they're not getting seasoned enough. I sure look forward to the future when Blazers wouldn't take anybody younger than a sophomore or something like that.
Well, David, I keep referencing like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? Because he's one of the best players in the league right now. His rookie year, playing exclusively point guard, playing the exact same amount of minutes as Scoot, playing all 82 games, he averaged 3.3 assists playing point guard. He's averaging almost 7 right now. So again, I think those assist numbers take time. And yes, he wasn't the number 3 overall pick, but he was still a lottery pick with high expectations. So again, I'm not worried. Now, if you're getting into season 2 and 3 and you're still only averaging 4 assists as a point guard of his stature, then I would start to worry. But the guy who's leading the league among rookies in that category, again, I think that's exactly what I would want.
Well, that's good news. I wasn't aware of that. But I just hope, I just want to see him make the players around him better and that's my expectation. And I think that's reasonable at that high draft.
Without a question, that's definitely a reasonable request, my man.
Hey, Chris, take care.
Yeah, absolutely, David. And thanks for the call. As always, I appreciate it. And the thing is, David, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. Like I think there's a lot of people who would like more from him as well. But I do just think in the context of how he's playing. Again, if you're leading in that category among rookies, you're not doing terribly. What I would like to look at, and this is something maybe I can ask Tom Habistro about on Friday when I'll be doing the Blazers pregame show, is like he talks about Anthony Simons' potential assists. He keeps a running total of the passes that Ant has to a player that turn into a shot that don't turn into a make, right? So the potential for an assist was there. And Ant has been through the roof with that. And look at Ant this year, David. There's another one. Ant's passing through his career has not been good. This year, I think his passing's been elite. He has been really, really good in that aspect. I mean, the game that he got injured against LA, he had some passes that you're like, whoa, look at that. He's put in some work. It's incredible. So, again, I'm not too worried about Scoot in the least. Oh, and to Daniel Berry Sports, not Danielle. Sorry, that's my wife's name. I get confused. But to Daniel Berry Sports on YouTube, yo, right back at you. All right, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. You can also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the combo there. Let's head out now to Victor. It wouldn't be a fifth quarter without Victor. What do you got for us tonight?
Oh, hi, Chris. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
All right. Well, you said that somebody had a dispute or some problem on some issues. They can tweet your tweet to instead of talking, maybe tweet to you.
They can.
So
at Chris J. Burkhardt, do it.
Yeah, if I'm very disappointed, maybe I do that. I don't want to say everything, Sometimes when your voice always has a different kind of a reaction, because it's a live, it's a live,
yeah,
it's a live thing. But anyways, all these contender teams, high caliber teams, what do you call it? I think what you and Chad call it, alpha man, alpha man.
Yep.
Yeah. The Blazers, I don't think they have they don't have an alpha man as a contender, but one of the problems with Blazer is, right now, or, I don't know about future, but right now, if one of their starter, say Ayton or Ant or somebody like that, the good players, if they don't play good, or they have, they have really problem, then they're gonna put him on the bench and bring, somebody else. But at this time, I don't think the Blazers they have an answer for it. They, Benton, is pretty good. Say come for Ant or somebody, but they don't have a really. First of all, they don't have an alpha man like other teams. They do. They have a good players. But what I'm saying is next year, everybody expect next year they're going to be even yourself. Everybody expect they're going to be a little bit better. Maybe maybe you think maybe 500. I don't want to do any prediction, but I think some of their fans they want to be in the 500 level. But to get the alpha man, when the Damian was on the team, I believe he was the alpha man. I want to get your opinion on that. But what I'm saying is can the Blazer have the alpha man at this? I mean, with this roster, or they have to bring a new player to make him alpha man like a Damian Lillard?
Well, thanks for the call, Victor, and that is a good question. I think right now on this team, it depends how you define alpha. Like to me, an alpha isn't necessarily the guy who's just going to go score all your points. I mean, it's the guy who just commands the attention of the locker room, leads the team, puts the team on his back. He's the guy that when you call a timeout, he looks at everyone and says, give me the ball. We're going to go win this game. Michael Jordan, a Kobe, right? Does that person exist on this roster? I don't think so. I mean, you got a lot of guys on this roster, and it's not a disrespect to them. It's just how they are. Like Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, they all seem just a little more passive, just in how they approach things. And Kevin Durant does that too. Like Kevin Durant doesn't have to go be, that the Mamba mentality, but that doesn't stop him from being a great basketball player, right? So I don't think that's a knock on anybody. It's more of a personality trait. I think the closest that they do have is probably DeAndre Ayton right now. I've seen him be a lot more vocal in game, kind of getting in people's ear, pushing them where they need to be at all times. I like that. I think Scoot has it in him to be a leader of this ball club. It's just a matter of finding that voice. Like Dame wasn't a leader on day one. Took him a minute to command that locker room, and everyone started to flock to him when they realized, he had the charisma and the voice in the locker room and the power behind it and the game to back it up. But no, they might have to go outside of the locker room to find it right now. It's a good question. It's a fair question. And it's a tough answer. I mean, look at Shaden Sharp too. Like Shaden Sharp's similar to Ant, a little more passive in how he approaches things. Lets his game do the talking, but it doesn't have to be that the air quote alpha. And this is something that Chauncey Billups said earlier in the season too, that they lacked an alpha, and they definitely aren't going to find it when half their lineup isn't playing. So yeah, I definitely think it does need to come from outside of this locker room, and we'll see how that happens in the long run. And a couple more stats I want to point out there, David. I hope you're still listening. Okay, I was looking these up a second ago, but look at Tyrese Halliburton. Okay, so Tyrese Halliburton right now leads the league in assists, 11.2 per game. His rookie year, played 58 games, started 20 of them, not too dissimilar to where Scoot is right now. Let's see what are actual Scoot's numbers. Do. We're gonna get copyright pinged because I hummed that song. We'll see. But Scoot, 52 games, 22 starts. All right, so right in there with Halliburton when this season's going to be all done. Tyrese Halliburton averaged 5.3 assists his rookie year in 30 minutes a game. So Scoot Henderson averaging 27 minutes per game, 4.8 assists. Comparable, not the exact same as 5.3, but you look what Tyrese Halliburton did. The very next season, that 5.3 jumped up to 8, and it just kept climbing, and now he's leading the league at 11.2. So, again, I think it takes those rookies some time to adjust. Now, granted, there are some guys who are just good right from the jump, and sometimes they also have legit shooters around them. That definitely helps. I mean, you look at Trae Young, who's second in the league right now at 10.8. He's been averaging close to that 10 number his entire career. He had 8 right out of the gate as well. But again, I wouldn't be upset. Fred VanVleet, he's averaging 8.2 right now. He's a very good point guard. I don't count his first year because he only played 7 minutes a game, but his second year, 20 minutes per game, he was at 3.2 assists. You come with time, you come with experience. Those assist numbers will definitely start to climb. So I'm not worried in the least right there. All right, let's head back out to the phone lines where Kevin and Camus wants to talk about Robert Williams, it looks like. Welcome into the fifth quarter, Kevin. The floor is yours.
Hey there, my friend. Good to chat with you. Listen to your show all the time, you and Chad.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I've been a Blazer fan since their inaugural season, and love following what you guys are doing. Love following the rolling tank that this season has become. But there is a guy on the roster who I think is a wild card and who never gets talked about, never gets written about, and has the potential to really do something down the road. If he comes back healthy, Robert Williams, I would just love to know whatever insight you have into what knee surgery he actually had, where he is in his rehab, other players that have had the same surgery, any info that you might have on the guy, because he had a boatload of potential coming into this season, and it was just been washed out.
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. And I don't have the full insight to the exact surgery outside of what was let out to the media. I know rehab has been going fairly well, but I think you're onto something, because I also think there was a lot of interest in him at the trade deadline. I do know that. I know the Blazers were hesitant to make a lot of big moves because they want to let this thing play out and let him get healthy, because I think that they see a possibility with him as well. And I don't think that's something that you just move off from because you can, Kevin, because like you said, if he's healthy, like I know I love Duop Reith as much as the next guy. I know fans love Duop Reith, but if DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams are healthy, like Duop Reith, your third center, he's not seeing the floor, because it gives you as a super talented defensive center and a versatile one in Robert Williams. So I do think that the team wants to play this one out and see how rehab goes and see how he looks over the summer heading into next season.
Yeah, I don't even remember how old he is. Is he 24 now?
Oh yeah, he's still a young buck, all things considered, right? He is 26. So I mean, he's still kind of ready to enter that prime run of his, and still got years as long as the knees stay healthy. So but yeah, I'm right there with you. I've talked about that. I don't think that's necessarily a name that they want to move off of instantly, because I think if they make moves over the summer that don't involve him, and they can get themselves into a spot where A, they're healthy, and B, they add some vets and they think they're competitive, he's the type of guy you want on your roster. So we'll see what they do. So I'm with you. I think he's definitely a dark horse.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. Thank you for the call. As always, if you ever want to call in, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. And of course, you can join Twitter as well. Go to Chris J. Burkhardt. You can tweet at me there. Like Victor said, though, then you can't tell where my sarcasm is, and people get mad at me all the time when they just totally read what I said out of context. I'm just a fun-loving guy, I promise. All right, we're going to take our final break of the show. When we come back, we're going to hit you with a Coach's Corner. Hear what Coach Billups had to say following this loss to the Rockets. And as my wife loves when I say, we'll put a little bow on this one and get ready for Wednesday's game. Chris Burkhardt here with you. The fifth quarter rolls on your home, the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. feel like Sum 41's a pretty deep cut. It's a good music video, though. The Hell Song. Go look it up if you've never seen it. It's money. Back when music videos were awesome. All right, let's head to the Coach's Corner. Let's hear what Coach Billups had to say following this 110-92 loss to the Houston Rockets.
We just didn't respond very well to it. 17 turnovers, but I'm telling you, it felt a lot. It felt like more like 21-22. Because some of our shots were also kind of shooting turnovers as well. Just shot some tough looks, tough shots. But you get them credit. You know, they turned it up when they needed to defensively and against a young, inexperienced group, and got us sped up a little bit. We lost our composure some. So it was some good teachable moments for our young guys.
Seems like they got off to a good start tonight.
Mm-hmm.
When that, what are you seeing that they're doing well when they're getting off to a good start? When they're playing well, what are the things you're seeing?
Yeah, I think our ball movement, you know, our pace and getting it up and trying to beat teams down before they can get their defense set. We had so many good moments we had multiple paint touches on a single possession. And I think at halftime, we had like 11 possessions where we had multiple paint touches, and our points per possession on that was like at a 1.45, which is lights out. But that's hard work. You know, it's hard to do that. It's hard to maintain that, and especially when they turned it up and stopped letting you actually get to the paint, you know. And obviously we really struggled from three, you know, so the only way that we could really score is to get to that paint and attack, and we didn't shoot it very well.
I think you asked about this, but Rayon, I think, played a little bit more tonight. Are you seeing like growth on a night-to-night basis from him, or is it still kind of here and there?
No, he's getting better. He's getting better. It was good to see him make some shots tonight, you know. Yeah, Roops, he continues to get better. You know, we play. He's the type of player and that he works so hard, and when he actually gets to see some of these coverages and see some of the areas that he may be open, I was just happy that he was aggressive. You know, he looked for his shot tonight, and those threes that he hit were huge shots for us. You know, so I was happy. I thought Roops did a good job and played well.
I'd asked Scoot prior to the game about that, starting all rookies, and if it was any different. He was like, no, really, but it does maybe make me focus in a little bit more, because I realized that, like, Ant's not out there with me, you know, like, and I know that we're maybe going to have to, maybe a little more is on me. Like, do you see that at all, and have you seen him reacting to that?
I don't think I see it at all. Scoot was really aggressive at the start of the game today to try to score the ball. So maybe that's kind of what he meant, you know, saying like I probably should be a lot more aggressive out here with all the youngins on the floor. But I thought his attacks and him being aggressive to try to score the ball got us off to a pretty good start, to be honest with you. So, yeah, for the most part, I thought he played well too. You know, too many turnovers, but we played well. All right.
Thanks, Coach. There you have it. There was Coach Billups following the loss to the Houston Rockets. And shout out to the YouTube chat where we got into debates about Vanilla Ice. What are you talking about? Dude's a musician. He added a note. He made it wholly unique. He made it his own, just like I did with the Jeopardy tune I was humming earlier. Can't sue me. Made it legal. Came off the top of my head. Dun, 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 dun. Added that, right? We all know the story. Still better than Milli Vanilli, right? Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you. Karaoke night on the 5th quarter. All right, that's going to do it. We're going to put a bow on it. We're going to wrap it up. It's been fun. It's been real fun. But I got to go to bed, guys. I'm filling in for Justin Myers tomorrow, so I got to be right back in this chair from 6 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Woo-hoo, boy. If you want to listen to fun morning radio with a man who might be delirious by the time the show's over, tune in. And, of course, we will be back at it on Wednesday with another edition of Blazers Game Day for you. On that one, though, we're going to be a half hour earlier, 2 o'clock, and then a 4:30 game for your Portland Trailblazers. That's going to do it, though. We will see you on the next one. Hopefully you join me tomorrow morning. I'm going to need friends and some coffee. You guys have been awesome. We'll talk to you on the next one.